Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So, as you may or may not know, we have had quite an interesting geomagnetic storm. We have had aurora in places that don't usually see aurora. Yet, at the same time, everything has changed, especially since 2017. It really feels like that was the beginning point of an all new world that we're stepping into. And then after and I'm referencing there the August 2017 eclipse, the first one of several eclipses that were going to overshadow the United States, and really the entire world system is in a state of flux and change. It's huge. You can't underestimate how big these changes are. Our literal elemental structures are changing with a new yuga, which again, what we get is that we went into a new yuga, the Bronze Age. We left the Dark Age April 8th, 2024. And if you're somebody that says, well, where's that in writing? Well, it's not in writing. Again, this is what we've gotten from channeling from the galactics and our guides. And others are getting the same thing, though. And this is the thing: as time goes on, you tend to notice more and more people are channeling the same information for the most part.
I think you want to look for the consistency in that the information across the board, because this information about the changes, it's not for us in the 3D, it's in a higher dimension, and that's where we are headed. And we've had some beautiful auroras from across everywhere people have sent me, and I just want to say thank you. You know who you are, and we really appreciate the beauty that you're sharing with us, and this was so incredible. Some people say they've never seen them so in person, and they comment on how beautiful they are, exactly like the pictures show. And the pictures probably don't show as much justice, but still, people are seeing them for the first time, and this is just incredible.
Yeah, I'm in Florida. Look at this. This is Jordan Crowder in Florida. Palm trees and aurora. Wow. By the way, we want to thank Paige, our newest family member. She's a rainbow warrior over on Patreon. Again, we do typically we'll do exclusives each week, and it hasn't been typical. In case you haven't noticed, we've been on the road. We've been away from home for 2 weeks, so we're in a town that's again 75 miles away from the nearest store. It's amazing that there's any reception here, and we're working off of laptops that are our backup to backups. So, if the sound is not exactly what it is, it's because we're not on the same computer. It's the same microphone. We're doing as good as we can instead of just taking 2 weeks and not putting up videos.
Yeah, we haven't taken a vacation in like 5 or 6 years. It's been work nonstop. And, we're still working on vacation, but that's kind of what we do. And we're trying to figure things out. So thank you for continuing to support us. We'll be home very, very soon. Thank you, Miss Paige. Lovely Paige. We appreciate your support.
So when you look at it, this is from space weather, you could see, man, we were just below the highest threshold possible on the KP index. Yeah, just under a 9 there. That is, a G4 level storm. And as you can see, 8 and then 7s. So it's elevated. These are times of monumental change.
I've ended up the last couple times when we hit these, you know, the solar peaks, I've been getting some really bad headaches. And I know some people it hits them opposite. They do really well. But I also have witnessed people having some huge emotional breakthroughs and letting go of a lot of emotions that, they shouldn't have been carrying around anyway. So if you're going through that, it's very significant. It's a good thing. It might be painful, but it's going to be worth it because you're going to move to higher levels, especially where the planets come from. And we'll talk about that in another video. But the planetary alignments right now are amazing for progress and moving forward, changing timelines. And this is an amazing time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just incredible. We are rapidly changing. Do you know the northern lights went all the way down to Puerto Rico? That's amazing. That's the tropics. As far south as Alabama, Puerto Rico, Florida. Wow, this is just insane. But it's part of the changing times because these times are seriously changing. This is Fairbanks, Alaska. This is a common sight, but not not right here in Florida, which doesn't look much different. This is just wild. Again, when you recognize that our literal elemental nature, the ether, is which all the elements come from. The elements come from the ether, and the ether is changing. This is something that we've gotten from the guides. And when you look at everything, everything is consciousness ultimately. So, in some ways, there really are no inanimate objects. Even when we call something inanimate, it's made of the same material that our bodies are, when at the smallest level. So again, this is huge, and you can't understate how big this is. Look at this. The aurora is so bright, it's turning the ground green. Yeah, boy, we did get some amazing views of the stars. And it's just incredible to see and feel this change. So, yes, we did have a big impact. Again, we've had several X-class flares. There's been a barrage of X-class flares. Yes, nothing on the scale of a Carrington event, because that would change everything. And at some point in time, probably there will be multiple Carrington events that do impact us. But here we are. It's November 12th. Geomagnetic storm continues following strong CME impact. The event is turning out to be one of the best, if not the best, aurora show for many. A reminder that an even more energetic and fast moving CME is expected to pass Earth later today and will likely prolong this event. The aurora below was captured from Solar Ham's backyard. Yeah, just think about that. So we got blasted by the two smaller ones, the X 1.7 and 1.2. And so the X 5 that came out after this big one, that's the one that the impact will be hitting us shortly. And right now, it seems like things have tailed off, but we will see. Again, always expect the unexpected. Been a lot of outages and downtime on the Schumann. As you can see, we're going through cyclical whiteout periods. The Schumann is elevating big time. The consciousness is changing. Everybody is feeling it. It's a little trippy.
It is. I mean, this is incredible. These auroras speak to us. They truly, truly speak to us. So
Doesn't that hit you like an iris in the eye,
it
sort of?
it does, and it's speaking. This is what they look like when they speak. They're very, very active, just like anything else. Animals when they speak, they move, they shift. You can see eye movement. This is something that I think is going to go down in the history books when it comes to our consciousness. I mean, some people are really, really going to feel it, and they're really going to feel the expansion. And just keep in mind, expansion can be uncomfortable, and that's okay. Just be with it and let it sit with you, because we're too often we want to push those negative feelings away, but we need to incorporate them and allow them to process through you. And that's how we move up in frequency.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, this does so remind me of the light of the eye. Let thine eye be single, and thy whole body will be full of light. Absolutely. This is filling us up. Our bodies are filling up with light. Our bodies are becoming more expansive. Our energy bodies are strengthening. Cindy was giving me a blow by blow yesterday of some of the changes that she could see in our energy bodies, because our energy bodies are changing, guys, and we're going to be able to experience more things, have a deeper knowing. This is all very, very positive. This is the thing. The system wants to keep us locked in fear, doom, and gloom, death, and destruction, because that's where the system is. That's their resonant frequency. Where we could go now is beyond where the system can go. They're doing the only thing they know how to do, and that's basically create chaos and try to lower frequencies. The more we tune inside again, instead of going to dogmas that are being given to us to limit our consciousness, do just the opposite. Expand comes from within. The entire universe lies inside of you, not outside of you. And so exploration is always something that's being done on the internal level.
It's a beautiful time. There might be some scary things that happen, but they're very, very necessary to create the new world we've all been looking for. So this could be a big jump when it comes to expansion, raising in frequency, the what we call the split. It's happening.
It is happening, and again, to some people, this is really, really scary. It's something that they're going to view with fear and trepidation, thinking the worst case scenarios. Yes, there is going to be more of the natural disaster type of cataclysms, not always completely natural. In fact, a lot of it, if not a big chunk of it, is being artificially manipulated. But there is also a natural cleansing that has to happen. But that doesn't mean that everything gets wiped out and we need to bring in a new Noah's Ark to, start over again. Yeah, it's going to be a little bumpy road, but we got this. And again, we're trying to help others pull the sheaths off from on their eyes. So, again, so much of what we can't see is due to our conditioning, and it's as if the control system is throwing a blanket over our heads, a sheet over our heads, so we can't see what's happening clearly, and then they want to describe the blow by blow what's happening. But no, it's up for us to view for ourselves and decipher for ourselves.
The beauty of it is we have other senses that we can use. So they can't put the sheet over our head anymore.
Absolutely. As always, guys, thanks for your support. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.